Okay, well, we're out here in one of our Pinot Noir vineyards. Altogether, we farm 230 acres of vineyards, about 130 of it roughly Pinot Noir, and the balance in our white varieties. All of it, of course, is certified organic and biodynamic. We don't use any herbicides or insecticides, and the only things we use for mildew are basic elemental substances like powdered sulfur and things like that. This is one of our prize Pinot Noir blocks that we call this Graham's Block 7. That was planted in 1982, and it was one of the first high-density blocks in Oregon. There's 2,500 vines to the acre, and you can see how close the rows are together. Kind of a bear to farm, but produces some really nice wine consistently throughout the vintages. The way we farm here is recognizing that these vines are part of a system. It's not that we planted vines in the ground and we're growing the vine and that's all that's going on. It's part of a whole ecosystem of our farm. And one of the tenets of biodynamic farming is that you look at your farm as one organism, as a living organism, and you work to enhance the health and vitality of that organism. Thereby, your vines being part of it are going to be healthier, and you're going to have less problems, and so on and so forth. And that includes what goes on underground. And I think here's a kind of a good example of what we do in our management practices. You know, we recognize that underground, there's probably a lot more going on underground than above ground. But one of the things we've focused on is the fungal populations under the ground. It's been demonstrated through some great research here in Oregon, as a matter of fact, that there's a very strong relationship between these fungi, mycorrhizal type fungi in the soil, and woody plants like grapevines or Douglas fir trees. And we've discovered that, along with many other growers and many crops, that if you can maintain really good fungal populations underground, it really helps with the health and vitality of the vines. They act as sort of a surrogate root system that expands the natural root system of the vines, bringing up more mineral-rich soil, water from the soils, because they have the capacity to convert the minerals in the soil to like a mineral-rich aqueous solution that they exchange with the vines in exchange for carbohydrates that the vines can produce through their photosynthetic activity in the leaves. So that being said, what do we do to make this all happen? Well, one thing is we don't spray weed killers on the ground, because that's going to kill off some of the fungi. And even worse are the ones that are pre-emergence that soak down and sterilize the seeds. You can imagine what that does to the fungi that are living underground. You can see we have these cover crops here. And what we're doing is we're trying to put two basic things into the soil. We put in carbon, which is what most of the plants are made of, and we grow grassy plants. This has been mowed down once already, but normally we'll let our cover crops get tall, and they get mowed down and lay on top of the soil, and as they dry out, the earthworms bring them down, and it becomes food for these fungi. And then the fungi can develop larger colonies that work well with the plants. We also need to have a little bit of added nitrogen, because we're taking away. If you look at it as a system, you know, we're taking something out every year, and that being grapes. So we have to put a little something back in. Sure, the fungi and the bacteria underground are converting what's available there. They're converting this, what many people would look at as waste products, our cover crops, anything that's tilled in, all the leaves, converting that to something that the vines can use for food. But we also use clover, plants in the clover family. This happens to be a white clover. We can use alfalfa or vetch or peas. All of these plants in the clover family have the capacity to take nitrogen out of the air. And of course, the air is more nitrogen than anything. Take nitrogen out of the air, absorb it through their leaves down into their root system. And at their root system, they have these little nodules where these nitrogen-fixing bacteria live. And they can fix that nitrogen from the vascular system of the plant and fix it into the soil so it's available as a food to themselves and plants around them. And when they do this, these cover crops of clover actually draw in more nitrogen than they need and can contribute to the health and needs of the vines. So we're able to literally pull fertilizer out of the air and put it into the soil to feed our vines that way.